Welcome to another episode of Potion Sword Run. I'm Original Seed, and today I'm going to be talking to you about Sony and how they're really dropping the ball when it comes to launching the PlayStation 5. Now, anybody that's been watching my channel knows that I prefer Xbox as my gaming console. In fact, I didn't get a PlayStation 4 last generation. I went with Xbox and I went with Xbox One X and I stuck with it. But that doesn't mean that I hate PlayStation. In fact, that's far from the truth. This generation, or the new coming generation, next generation, I actually got a PlayStation 5 and I still haven't secured an Xbox Series X. So going into this next generation, I'm actually going to be starting the generation with the PlayStation 5. So I've been looking, trying to find high and low, looking for information, any news, any good news for the PlayStation 5, but I can't find any. Nowhere. When it comes to the games, they're gonna cost $70. When you compare that with Xbox, they're not. Simple as that. They're gonna be $60. Or you can play them on Game Pass. When it comes to backward compatibility, PlayStation's all over the place. Jim Ryan saying that 99% of PlayStation 4 games will be backward compatible. But then they go on and say that only 100 of the best-selling games will be. So what is it? Is it 99%? Is it 100? And what about that 1%? What if I go and find that rare game that I wanted and I can't play it? Whereas on the Xbox ecosystem, you can pretty much play any game that you own. And not only that, Xbox also offers smart delivery. And they offer the users the ability to upgrade their game for free whenever they upgrade their consoles. Then I look at PlayStation and the big kerfuffle when it comes to Spider-Man and Miles Morales. Certain versions will be upgradable but others won't. It just doesn't make sense. Until you realize that the reason behind this is because Sony plans to charge us for remasters. Then you start hearing the news that your PlayStation 5 pre-orders won't be guaranteed at launch because it just so happens that now retailers are getting their pre-order allocations. So what about all those pre-orders that they already sold? What about all that money they already took? What's the whole point of having pre-orders if you're not going to guarantee them? Does that mean that the PlayStation 5 is officially delayed? I mean, if you're not getting pre-orders, then what do you call it? A soft launch, I guess. What Sony is doing right now reminds me of the PlayStation 3 launch. They were arrogant beyond belief, thinking they could charge $599 for a next-gen system at that time. It was insane. Saying that if people wanted to game, they would get a second job. It was that generation when I gave up on PlayStation and didn't look back. And now that I finally jumped back in, they're doing it all over again. And it's sad for PlayStation owners. It's sad for Sony fans. I see them online grasping at straws. They're looking for any news that shines Microsoft in a bad light in order to feel good about themselves, in order to feel good about buying PlayStation, sticking with PlayStation. For example, the external SSD drive. They point out that the Xbox Series X doesn't have a full terabyte of memory. In fact, it only has about 800 gigabytes of memory. And they take that and run with it as great news for PlayStation for some reason. But what they fail to understand is that that memory is allocated for the operating system. It benefits the user. How? By giving you such features like Quick Resume. And Quick Resume is freaking awesome. Being able to jump in to different games within 3 or 5 seconds? And that's just one example. Who knows what the rest of the memory is used for? As a PlayStation owner, you shouldn't look at the faults of other consoles so that you can feel better about yours. It doesn't make sense. So Sony needs to come out with some news, some good news, some consumer-friendly news. And I'm not just talking about buying studios, although that will help, but I don't know. They gotta turn this ship around. They gotta realize that their messaging right now is not working. Yes, they're gonna run out of launch consoles, but the way they launch this generation is gonna make it easier for gamers to jump over to the other side. Especially if they're unable to find PlayStations near launch. If they walk into a store and they see an Xbox, they know they're gonna get a lot of games. Yes, they're gonna miss out on some PlayStation exclusives, but right now, the momentum is all behind Xbox, and I just see a lot of people willing to make the jump, especially given the rumors that Microsoft isn't done yet. Now, as a new PlayStation 5 owner, the future of PlayStation so far looks a little bleak. Yes, they're gonna have games like Horizon Forbidden West and another God of War, but those aren't really my type of games. I'm gonna play them, but I'm not really looking forward to them. In fact, I'm looking backwards. I'm looking to the games on the PlayStation 4 that I missed out. So at least I'll have games to play. But for Sony fans who had a PlayStation 4, after Demon Souls, a remake of a PlayStation 3 games, and maybe Miles Morales, I really don't see anything to look forward to in the future. I mean, maybe Godfall if you're into that, but I just don't see it. So if you happen to be a Sony fan who follows my channel, just know that I feel for you. I really, really do. I really want the best for you, because what's best for you is going to be best for me, because I'm a PlayStation 5 owner too, or will be if I get one at launch. I just feel that Sony right now is taking their player base for granted, and I really, really, really hope that they come out with some positive news so that I can, share with you. Now that's going to do it for this episode. Remember, when shit's the fan, and all you see is bad news coming out of Sony's camp, run.